Hello everybody, welcome to Pokemon Masterclass. We've got another fun discussion video here. As you all know, Gen 9 was revealed, and we've been chit-chatting about it in the background in our little group chat, and we decided, let's take these thoughts, let's put them on the internet for the whole world to hear. It's out there permanently. And then, yeah, so we got Justin here. Obviously, Justin, say hello.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Gym Leader Justin. Really excited. I actually missed the live reveal. I was working on Pokemon Day. Sad face for real life obligations. But, you know, the group chat, the private PMC chat was popping off. Not only Brandon, but our guest host today. We've got Sport Ninja. Dougie was very, very excited. So we figured, you know what? He's got a lot of thoughts, a lot of things to say. So why don't we bring him on the show, bring him on the channel, and get it out there on the internet for the whole world.
Hey, everybody.
So yeah, we're really excited to get into this. There's a few different things announced, not just Gen 9. So we're actually going to get into the sort of the appetizer first, and then we'll jump into Gen 9. So you guys want to start off with some Unite news?
Yeah. So we got Duraludon announced for Pokemon Unite. It's going to be the next Pokemon. It's the attacker class coming out in March. I'm excited. I like Duraludon. I obviously did a video on him on Showdown like last month.
Yeah, we've had a couple features of him. We featured the G-Max. We featured the Assault Vest. You had the Specs D-Night back down in NU last summer. A lot of fun stuff. He's your boy.
Yeah. So, Doug, you don't play a lot of attackers, like, for the most part. I'm kind of like the main ranged attacking guy in the squad. But what do you think, man? Are you excited? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm always excited when a new Pokemon's getting added. Just to see how the different moves from like the core games are represented in this kind of a scene, and then just to see how it shakes up the rest of the game. Just to see
what do you think
who
about
falls,
Duraludon
who gets better.
specifically?
Duraludon caught me off guard. Like we were all looking at that icon of like the hint who's the next attacker, and we're like, oh, it could be Arbok, or it could be Crocodile, or we got all these eyes, and no, it's a tower. It's a skyscraper.
Yeah, exactly. So that's actually a great point. Real quick, speaking of the little leak that has those eyeballs, we were obviously talking about maybe it could be Glare. That was obviously your suggestion.
Yeah, I think we were all like, after like, I think Doug suggested Arbok, and we were all like, we were all like, yeah, it's definitely Arbok, and it's was like
a snake glare type of thing. But so what do you think? You had a suggestion, Dougie, offline. What do you think that eye could be referencing? The eyes.
It's laser focus.
Oh, so what? Reference real quick for anybody that doesn't know, laser focus in the regular game. What does that do for you?
I actually don't know off the top of my head. Let me take a look.
That's okay. I got your back, buddy.
I got your back. So I think it makes your next move.
Your next turn doesn't miss.
Oh, it doesn't miss. Okay. I thought it was an auto crit.
I figured it. Yeah, I figured it was either a crit or.
Is it a crit? It's okay. That's okay. We're all learning together.
Yeah, I don't know. PMC dropping the ball on the obscure moves. Sorry about that.
We can edit this part out if you want to.
No, we're gonna keep it fine. On. No, we're gonna keep it. So anyway, and another thing.
It is a crit.
It is a crit. Okay.
It does make it crit.
Okay. So
hey, there we go.
I think there is a move, Justin, that you will always hit your next move. Like
yeah,
I don't think.
That's lock on.
Oh, that's lock on. That's what it is.
So he also gets the ability Stalwart. And I like. To me, that could reference Stalwart because, like, you know, he can't be redirected in like in a doubles match or a triples match or something like that. So maybe those eyes are him, like, you know, the Stalwart, the focus on whatever target. I don't know how that would shake out. Like, I don't know how they would implement something like that because of the way the auto targeting works in this game. But
correct,
it's just a thought. But yeah,
it's pretty interesting. So obviously, being an attacker class, if patterns are to be recognized at all, so far there's been no melee attackers. They're all the range damage dealers. They all shoot, basically.
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily something on paper. Like, if you were to tell me a week ago, hey, Duraludon's getting into the game, I probably would have guessed maybe all-rounder or even defender. He's a steel type, but being an attacker, we expect him to be throwing or shooting something for his main autos, and then laser focus being crit based. Do you think he's going to be more of like an from league purposes, like a marksman or 80 carry, like a auto attack based champion, or is he going to have maybe a little bit more magey, relying on his spells?
I'll let you go first.
I would think probably more magey, just because when I look at Duraludon, I don't see auto attack ranged. It's like, what's he throwing? What is he shooting?
Yeah.
Things out of his hands, or what's going on here?
Yeah,
well, I think he'll be shooting things out of his mouth, because like his gaping mouth is something like in the anime and stuff. He always shoots.
So he's like a
Pez
Pez dispenser.
Yeah,
he's just going.
Yeah,
exactly. The Pez dispenser.
Yeah. Otherwise, like I could maybe, does he shoot like little metal ninja stars or something, like shards of metal or something?
That'd be sweet.
I don't know. Like
I don't know.
I think defender when I see him, and then when if you're like okay, well he's gonna be an attacker, then I think of big bursty damage. I don't like he doesn't learn any fire moves, so like he's not gonna be spitting fireballs. Like what's he gonna be spitting out?
Exactly. Right. So let's get into. We'll probably pull up some still images here. So they did show off.
Stealth Rock.
2 moves in the little 30-second reveal trailer that they do on the Unite page, right?
Yeah.
And we did see 2 moves for sure that we saw, which one was Stealth Rock and the other was Dragon Pulse. I want to talk about that real quick. So first of all, we have already seen Stealth Rock once in the game, obviously on Crustle, a Pokemon that everyone here on the PMC crew currently in this call really loves, both in Unite and in the regular game. Dougie repping the Cake Thief for years. So, but Stealth Rock is not a move that we rate very highly in the PMC, and we don't really take it very often. Like it's not really our PMC Crustle meta, is it, boys?
I don't think really it's anyone's Crustle meta at this current state of the game.
Exactly. My point being, I want to lead into this and start off with you, Dougie. What is your first initial gut reaction to seeing that he's an attacker, and then they gave him Stealth Rock, and it looks pretty similar to Crustle Stealth Rock? Go ahead.
I feel like that's one of the reasons that I think that he's going to be more spell based, and he just has ranged attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Just because everything that we've seen so far of him is ranged, obviously everything is going to be ranged. He's an auto attacker, a ranged attacker, but seeing Stealth Rock is an interesting addition, just because that's not a move that I think of when I first think of Duraludon. So
yeah, and if you were, it'd be like the Stealth Rock, maybe Thunder Wave, Iron Head kind of, again, defender build.
Defender.
Yeah.
But that's another take where Crustle is a defender with Stealth Rock. Now we have a more offensive Stealth Rock, maybe, that will actually be more useful. I'm wondering if it's going to have some kind of a slow effect, so that anything that's in the Stealth Rock, he can auto attack more often.
Any form of CC. Maybe it'll be Armor Shred. That'd be great.
Yeah, just anything other than just damage.
Yeah.
I love it. That would be good utility on a ranged Pokemon like that. But then it makes me wonder how bulky is he going to be too.
Yeah. If it functions similar to the Fire Spin, or when you evolve Fire Blast of Charizard, where it's actually legit damage.
Mm-hmm.
You spit it out. It's got good range. It's got good damage on burst, and then good tick for standing in the pool later. There could definitely be some use there. So Dragon Pulse obviously was just this giant wave, just this AoE burst around him. I'm actually going to take the lead on this one and just spoil the sort of the topic here. My first thought is okay, it's an attacker, and we've already seen this dot damage-y sort of thought process with the Stealth Rock, and now we see this big AoE around him with Dragon Pulse. I'm getting some Venusaur vibes.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm
like,
actually going to throw it to Brandon here. What do you think? Seeing now that we've got some images and some video of both of these moves right here, what are you thinking about Duraludon? He's your boy.
yeah, like based on that, like doesn't it seem like you would like maybe throw down the Stealth Rock, get some movement slow, and then like come in with the Dragon Pulse or something like that? Like
Yeah,
like slow
maybe like
and
an
burst.
AP Bruiser kind of thing from our league days, Dougie.
Yeah. The kit overall, like on paper, it seems hodgepodge. I'm sure it'll be implemented in a way that makes a lot of sense because, like, if you look at Dragonite's kit, it seems so hodgepodge based on like us as competitive players. You're like Hyper Beam and Outrage and Dragon. Like, what is this?
This is everything.
So it seems hodgepodge, but I'm sure it's gonna be put together really well, like they've done with pretty much every character so far, and I'm excited to play him.
Yeah, really, really happy. So the last thing we're gonna close out on this Unite news here with Duraludon. Gonna lead it off with Dougie first, and then we're gonna go to Brandon. Dougie, so we've seen 2 moves, so we have 2 more moves to go for the Duraludon, not including like the stage 1 kind of thing, but just like the 4 final moves you can choose from, and then the ultimate. Any guesses or thoughts or moves that you'd like to see or want to see?
Well, I'm assuming we're gonna have laser focus.
Yep.
So there will be that, and then I don't know, maybe something that's more defensive, like Iron Defense. Just if he has that pulse going around him, like you could play as ranged, or you could be a little bit close up.
Yeah, maybe pop your Iron Defense, then go in with the yeah.
And then for his ultimate, I'm not sure yet. Like I would have to really look into his moves and get some ideas on that.
That's all right. We'll bring it over to you, Brandon, because I know you have a couple ideas. Buddy, what about you? Have any suggestions for his other regular moves? So obviously, laser focus is a good call out there. We have a pretty much sure that that's going to be one of his moves.
Yeah, like Flash Cannon is the easy answer.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Flash Cannon is the easy answer because he's already got his Dragon Stab. He's got his. He needs a Steel Stab. And for the ultimate, I would like to see Steel Beam.
I was actually just about to say that. I was just about to mention Steel Beam.
Yeah, like even if there's like recoil, like even if it's like taking a chunk of your health or like a little bit of like a stun or something like that, I would like to see Steel Beam. Just some huge burst damage that can secure objectives.
So I've got a little off the wall suggestion for what I would kind of want, my little tinfoil hat for what I kind of want to see, or what I would think would be a cool idea for his ultimate move, for his Unite move. And that would be playing off of his, because obviously he's one of the pokes that has a Gigantamax form.
Yes.
Which means he has a Gigantamax move. His Gigantamax move is G-Max Depletion. And it's, I believe, the regular move that it's based off of is Spite. But it reduces the PP by 4.
So what are you thinking Unite-wise that would do? Because I have an idea.
So Unite-wise, I'm thinking that it might affect enemies' cooldown. Like it might make their cooldowns longer.
Same thing.
If you get hit. Like
all
all of a sudden.
Or just put them all on cooldown.
Yeah, it puts them on cooldown, or it gives them a couple, like maybe insert number here that you don't, 5 seconds, 10, whatever the number is. I don't care. I'm not a game developer, right? But like, like if your thing is normally like a 10-second cooldown, and it's like 4 seconds left, and now it boosts up to 5. Now it's back up to 9 seconds. You're like, I gotta wait for it to come back up again or something.
Yeah,
it's just a rant. I've never really heard of a mechanic like that where you're like messing with other people's cooldowns in MOBAs. Obviously, Dougie, you're other than myself here in the call today, you're a big MOBA vet. What do you think? That sounds a little. We've never really had something like that before.
Well, it makes me think of Mr. Mime's ult that silences everybody and they can't use their moves.
There you go.
But I don't believe that Mr. Mime does damage with his ult. So maybe you could have like a nerfed form of
I think he does a little bit of damage, but I think he does a little, but I'm not like a Mr. Mime main, so don't quote me. I've only played him a handful of times.
It could be something more targeted rather than just AoE.
Yeah,
so you can pick someone out and be like,
that would be a great addition.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything for the next 5 seconds, and then everything is shut down.
And then he's also this big like AoE, like Swain or Maokai or something.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. Obviously, that was we got Duraludon. The other big thing, unless you like Pokemon Cafe Mix or like cooking with your Pokemon, and there's an update there for you. Gen 9 got announced. We're a competitive channel, so this is really big news. We don't know the name of the region, but it is based on Spain, which I find very exciting. I think that's really cool. I think when we watch the trailer, like, I don't really get Spain vibes outside of maybe a little bit of the architecture. What did you guys think? What did you guys think, first of all, of the trailer, and what do you think about the way the region looks? We'll start with you, Doug.
The trailer was pretty cool. I liked that they had the live action thing thrown in with it, with like the security guard finding some kind of crazy room in the Game Freak Studios.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was pretty hyped watching the trailer when it was starting out. Not the live action parts, but the actual in-game footage. I was confused at first because I was thinking it was Sword and Shield stuff. Just it showed like the big wild area, and it showed all the Pokemon stuff walking around, and I was like, this looks like Sword and Shield. And then I was like, oh, this is not Sword and Shield.
Yeah, this looks better than Sword and Shield.
Yeah, this looks a whole lot better than Sword and Shield.
Yeah, once you start to really look, he started posting stuff in the chat like, wait a minute, boys, this is look at, like, he was posting a bunch of side-by-side comparisons with like graphical stuff, and it's just based on this initial trailer alone, like there's some really big improvements here, which again, we've always been outspoken on the channel. Graphics are not our first or even second like highest priority in gameplay, especially in a Pokemon game. It's never been something that any of the PMC has been like, we're gonna die on this hill over. But again, we are all artists in our own mind, so aesthetics are big for us. So the fact that it looks prettier is a big deal. Making it look pretty is a positive.
I was watching the trailer. I don't know what happened, but when that trailer started, it looked like a DS game. I was like, this looks like crap. This is terrible. I was like, this looks worse than Sword and Shield. And were you
on your phone?
Yeah, I was on my phone.
Yeah.
So I had mentioned something to Doug, and I was like, dude, this looks like a DS game. This looks awful. And he was like, no, it doesn't. he was like, no,
Put
it doesn't.
On that big 4K TV, son?
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. This is terrible. And then then Doug was like, he had sent some images, like some polls, and he was like, no, dude, no, like this is the game here.
We'll pull some of those up right now, like the Magnemite or the Viper. Oh my gosh, Hoenn rep here. Those Viper scales, Dougie, shift.
Oh, they look so good.
Yeah. Oh. So like after seeing that, I was like, oh, okay. I don't know what I watched. The trees are still trash. The trees are still garbage. I don't know.
Yeah, there's still some stuff that needs some work. Like the grass is still confetti blades poking up out of the ground.
Yeah.
The windmill blades that it shows aren't all moving at the same frame rate. So there's obviously some things that are going to need to be tweaked, but this is the first reveal trailer. Like, correct, it's not going to be perfect yet. Right? And if this is just the reveal and it's not out until potentially November is what we're assuming, and it's already this good, I'm so excited to see what the final product actually ends up looking like.
Absolutely. I'm really happy the fact that we have like another, whether it's called the same thing or whatever, but we have another like wild area type vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So do we know, like, is this whole game going to be open world, or is it just another kind of Sword and Shield scenario where it's half and half?
It's supposedly the whole thing.
Wow,
on their website,
exciting, right?
It says it's a seamless open world experience where there's no walls between the wild area and the cities. You just walk right in,
and that's obviously very hype.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I wanted to mention the fact that I thought like the lay of the land, the topography, I believe that's the word I'm looking for, such an improvement on the wild area, because the wild area didn't have like land shelves in different like levels of elevation and stuff like that. It was just like this big it was just like
we had a couple of hills and like
field.
some ponds and stuff.
Cool. But for the most part, like, it didn't have like, this is a cliff, like an actual cliff, like
it was all like one big plain.
Yeah, and things were jagged. Things were jagged. Things were not this like smooth, like grassy plain, like Justin mentioned.
Maybe, yeah.
So So that's really cool. I would really like to see Pokemon hire Monolith Soft, who does obviously the Xenoblade games and does the maps.
Shout out. Let's go, baby. This is the year.
And then they also do the maps for the Breath of the Wild games. I would really love to see Pokemon hit them up and say, hey, make us a map.
Or like lean into it, right?
Yeah, make us a map, because look how well it works for Breath of the Wild and Xenoblade. Like, that's why you play those games. Like, that's
definitely
part of the reason. So I think that's all we had for like the way the game looks and our thoughts on what it looks, graphics,
sort of gameplay ideas and stuff. Obviously, we do have the two different versions here. You can see on these pictures right here, we have the still frame, the comparison between the boys and the girls, either in Scarlet or Violet. You can see sort of the red or the bluish purple there, and then you can see right here, actually in the game engine, the boy on the yellow brick road or the girl on the yellow brick road, kind of just showing off, like maybe this is like their pallet town, so to speak. Maybe this is at the beginning when you're going to see the professor, sort of stuff. But either way, it looks really, really nice. The trainers look great. Any final thoughts about what our trainers will look like?
Don't like it.
Don't like it?
Let's just be blunt. I don't like it.
That's fair. Go for it.
It's not bad, like, for what it is, but they look too not real. Like, they look too realistic, but they're not quite there. But they also look cartoony, but they're not quite there. Like, it's like the Uncanny Valley kind of situation where it's like this is too close to being realistic that I don't like it.
Dude, if you think those avatars look bad, go look at the avatars for the beta for Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. They look like, they look like Chuck E. Cheese animatronics, dude. They are scary.
They're terrible.
They're scary. They're legitimately scary. And it's funny because I was kind of like complaining to Justin, and he was making fun of me, and I was like, dude, you know what I don't like about the Pokemon games? All the trainers look different. Like Pokemon Go really trainers. Yeah. I literally went like on a tangent, and then he made fun of me after the fact. He was like, oh yeah. I was like, the Pokemon Go trainers look different. The Pokemon Unite trainers look different. Like, there's no continuity. Only the core games have any sort of continuity. And then he was like, oh yeah, that's a really dumb thing to complain about, but
it's a big hill to die on.
Yeah. So anyway,
don't get me wrong, the characters look good. Their faces just look too doll-like.
Gotcha.
Like, they're something about it is like, I don't like to look at that. Fortunately,
a little bit of
we won't
Polar
have to look
Express
at
eyes
that.
going on, maybe.
Yeah, it's like, I'm really glad that we're going to be looking at the trainer's back. Because I don't want to look at this.
Last question before we get into the meat and potatoes here, which is obviously the starters. Which version, just first initial, gut, emotional impression, you gonna be going with Scarlet or Violet? We'll start with you, Dougie.
I'm probably going to be getting both, but I'm going to start on Scarlet. I like...
Ooh, going red. Let's go.
Red's my favorite color, for one.
Yep.
But I like the... all that we have to look at right now. I like the logo for Scarlet more than I like Violet. Once we see some other aspects of the game, then my decision might shift, but that's where I'm leaning right now.
All right, Brandon, what about you, bro? Zero.
Red is also my favorite color. However, both of these games titles are also the names of girls who you would most likely find very pretty. And Violet just sounds like slightly more pretty, so I'm going to go with Violet.
There we go, going waifu.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to be the lame one and sit right on the fence and say I'm not really sure yet, mainly because now, historically speaking, growing up, Sport Ninja and myself, we've always been the opposite. So he'll get red and I'll get blue, or he'll get ruby and I'll get sapphire kind of thing, right? And that's been our tradition sort of thing for most of the way growing up until recently when he's been getting the package with both games. But so that's going to be a contributing factor. Whatever Dougie plays, I'll probably play the opposite. Like, he got Shield, which made me get Sword.
Yeah, you got the better dog.
And then it turns out I got the better dog from.
Yeah, mistake.
But, and then also, we speaking of the dogs, we haven't seen the legendaries. So that's actually going to be, jokes aside, that'll be a big contributing factor for me is, what the legendaries are, what they look like, and then which version specific stuff.
Yeah,
Sure.
like when I picked up Shield, I was like, damn, Zamazenta can't be that bad. But turns out he was terrible in like literally
Card
every
game.
format. Yeah, like he wasn't even good in OU when they tested him. But anyway, let's move on. We got to talk about these starters. We got to get this stuff out of the way. We got the grass starter first. Doug, will you please intro this Pokemon?
Yeah, we got Sprigatito. That's how I'm choosing to pronounce it right now.
Tito.
Sprigatito. I don't know. But
Do you want to talk
looks
about where
cool.
the name comes from?
Yeah. We got Sprig. Obviously, it's the grass
Yep.
type. But then also, Gatito is Spanish for small cat.
Oh.
Yeah,
So,
so like if
They
people are
took
familiar
the
with
two and
Gato,
stuck them together and made it really difficult to come up with names for evolutions because I'm like, I don't know if it's going to use Spanish still.
Yeah.
exactly.
But yeah, I really dig this cat. As soon as I saw all three of them, I was like, that's the one that I'm going with. And that's
Yep.
probably not going to change all the way through the development cycle.
No, you got to
For
rep
the
the
hype
brand,
cycle.
man. Grass are always the best. We know that here on this.
Water.
So Brandon, what do you think of the little grass cat? Initial impressions,
I think it's safe to say that we all want to start with this one. I don't
which
think,
is fair.
I
Go
don't,
for it. You got to go with the best, man.
Yeah. This is what I want to start with. I'm gonna wait for final evolutions. I almost always go with like what's the cool factor, like through the whole
Yeah.
line. And Cinderace was not easily, but he was the coolest one. I don't want to say easily because I'm a drummer. And
You're entitled
Rillaboom-
to your wrong opinion.
All
They
right.
released a grass monkey monotype drummer.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Can't win this argument,
Fair,
bro.
like that
Cinderace
one.
wears pants. Nope.
Well, Cinderace.
Yeah, Cinderace wears pants.
Yeah, anyway, I'll probably start with this one, but I gotta see the final evolutions.
Yeah.
That will be a determining factor. It almost always is for me. Outside of like Delphox, who I just picked up because he was a psychic type. Otherwise I probably would have picked up Greninja. So that'll be the big deciding factor. I'll probably pick it up. It has, in my opinion, I don't want to say it has the best design, but it just looks the most clean.
I'll
to me.
say it.
Yeah,
I think I'm obviously super biased. My name is Grass Leader Justin. I am the leader of the PMC Grass Gym. Grass is my favorite type, especially anybody that follows the channel, you know that's my favorite type of Pokemon, and Sceptile is my favorite Pokemon of all time. So it's no surprise here that little Sprig Kitty is going to be on my squad. Really happy. I love the color. Like it's like that super pale, almost like minty green, and then there's patches of dark green. I love the sort of contrast there between the two, and I'm really happy that we have like this feline grass starter. That's something I never knew that I wanted until I saw this little kitty, and I'm like, oh yeah, great. So now like my brain has been racking over the past couple of days. I've been talking to these guys ad nauseum, and Doug and I are actually on the same page here. Brandon might not necessarily care about this hill in particular, but that's totally fine. There's one wish list I need or want for this kitty, and I need them to not do the Incineroar. I need them to keep him on all fours, keep him a quadruped through the whole line. Don't stand him up. I don't really care about the secondary typing. I don't really care about the stats. I don't care about moves too much. I just want it to be like a regular tiger or cheetah or lion, whatever they decide. Bobcat. Dougie was actually talking about there's a European, I think it's a Spanish lynx, right?
Yeah. The Iberian lynx.
Liberian lynx. There we go. Which is very similar to people here in North America. It's like some bobcats. So again, I would love that. Just as long as it's not bipedal, I'm two thumbs up and a grin. There we go.
I'm telling you right now, dude. It's well. First of all, I don't care if it stands up. I chose the standing bunny who wears pants.
Yeah.
This Pokemon's gonna be standing up, man. It's gonna be standing up. I'm saying it right here, right now.
Soiled it.
Quote me. It's gonna be standing up. Doug, what do you think?
The more I'm thinking about it, with the leaf thing on its face as a mask starting off as a kitten, I could see that growing outward or something and becoming more of like a Zorro mask kind of thing. Like it keeps growing around his eyes, and he
Okay.
could stand up and end up being like a Puss in Boots kind of.
It's gonna turn into
reference.
a sword, and he's gonna stand
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Okay.
He'll have like a sword, and he'll have his mask and stuff, and he'll be like a Spanish sword fighter thing, like Puss in Boots.
Three Musketeers kind of stuff.
Yeah, but then he'd be standing up, so it's like
Yeah.
it would be cool, but I'm leaning more towards wanting it a quadruped just because we just had the bipedal evolution. Let's get something new. But
not only a
I think
bipedal
a Puss in
evolution, but a
Boots could be cool
bipedal
too.
cat evolution.
Yeah, exactly. I think it would be neat if it stayed on all fours, but it would also be neat if there was like a Puss in Boots reference in
Definitely.
its design.
Yeah. All right. We could talk about the grass cat all day, but we gotta move on. We're gonna talk about the fire starter. Doug, intro this Pokemon. This whatever we think this is. We don't know what it is. What is it?
Coco. He is a fire croc Pokemon who is potentially based off of the piquillo pepper, which is a pepper that is found in Spain that has it's red and it has a little white thing coming out the top, like this white coloration at the very top of the pepper,
Okay.
which could absolutely be referenced in the white mask
Okay.
or coloration, if you want to call it a mask,
Yeah.
on Fuecoco's nose and his eyes, and it's adorable.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
this one I feel like is the biggest mystery to us, like what it's gonna turn into, what its type is gonna be, like because it looks like a dinosaur. I think we all kind of agree, like it looks like a dinosaur, but this could ultimately turn into anything. I think we all kind of agree, right?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they came out and said that it's the fire croc, I guess, sort of leads us to down that path. I've seen a lot of memes. We've all been sharing and seeing the memes of like Totodile and this guy just kicking it on the beach together, a little two peas in a pod kind of thing. Could we get another for alligator type thing, but like a fire version? That'd be super sweet. One, I'd be remiss if we didn't bring up, especially here on the PMC, we're a big fan. We've gone back all the way to Kanto. We grew up with Pokes since day zero, basically, and there's been this like unconfirmed kind of lore or zeitgeist around the fire starters, and that is obviously the fact that they're aligned with the Chinese zodiac. If this turns out to be a crocodile, like, look, I'll give you that. You want to make Typhlosion the rat because Cyndaquil is a rodent? I'll make that leap. But Evel Knievel can't tell me that a crocodile is going to fill in the slot for a snake. Like, that doesn't work.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah,
There's no reason that it can't evolve into a snake, though.
for sure.
Yeah.
So that was kind of where I was going to lean into. So again, just with that as the context that we've already talked about off air, I think we're all in the same boat. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we would like to see the Zodiac get filled out. There's 4 more to go: the horse, the ram, the snake, and which one, Dougie?
The ox.
Oh, and the ox. Yeah, the bull.
So they'll do that, and then that'll be the end of the Pokemon franchise. They'll just stop making
That'll be
games.
it.
That'll be
Yep,
it.
they're
Done.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be it.
That was their end goal this entire time.
Yep.
So for me, when I see this guy, obviously disregarding the fact that it says Croc, just looking at him, my first initial gut reaction was something similar to like a Tyrantrum, kind of like he looks like a baby T-Rex.
Yeah, I would love to see it turn into a fire dragon type when it fully evolves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think, Doug?
I think a fire dragon would be super broken as a starter, but it would be really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Like-
not like they haven't had like pretty broken typings for starter.
I
Like,
mean, Greninja and Blaziken are both Uber, so.
I think Primarina as a getting Water Fairy as a type, I think is insane
Yeah.
for a starter.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Dragon would be neat. I could see maybe fire ground. His quote unquote dex entry thing that Pokemon gave us already says that he's slow and likes to take things at his own pace. So I could see a slower, like, I don't want to say rock, but rock.
Hopefully
Or, yeah, hopefully not. Or ground type, or maybe even just pure fire. I would have no problem with us finally getting another pure fire.
If he's based
Heck yeah,
on
let's just
a
go for it.
vegetable, maybe fire grass. I don't think
That's
that. I don't think that
dude,
would,
you just took it from me. That's exactly what I was gonna say. I want this boy to be the very first. We've had it in the creative Pokemon on Smogon before, but this would be the first official fire grass type. And oh boy, if there's ever a chef's kiss, it's got to be a fire grass mixture.
So would you pick this if it was fire grass? Would you pick it because you get a grass rep and it's the first fire grass?
It would depend on aesthetics because I really love Sprigatito. So again, if Sprigatito stands up on two legs and then this dude turns into some really awesome, yeah, I'll definitely go with this one instead if it's fire grass.
I like it, man. I like it.
And again, the only time only twice in my life have I ever not taken the grass type, and those two times, which type did I take, boys? Fire. So there's a clear hierarchy in my personal opinion of flavor profile.
All right.
I personally just never think that the starters are going to share their type like that because it will just give an advantage of one over the other. Like,
definitely.
Now,
that's a good point.
Coco doesn't resist or doesn't have a weakness to Quaxley anymore. So it's unless Quaxley ends up getting
flying.
Like something.
Yes, something that could beat it, but then that would just, I don't know. I prefer when the three subtypes also clash with each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Me too.
So if it was like grass, steel, fire, dragon, and water fairy, I think that would be really neat.
Yeah.
Or grass fairy.
Yep.
I'm never a fan of fire grass, at least for a starter.
No, I don't think
Just
it's
that kind of thing.
I don't think it's likely. It's just fun to dream about, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So let's.
Speaking of dreams coming true, you guys want to talk about our last starter here?
Yeah, Doug, you mentioned him before. Intro this guy too.
Yeah, we got Braxley. Braxley. What? we got Quaxley.
Yeah.
That I don't have a whole lot to say about him. He's a duck. He looks like Donald Duck. Obviously, everyone's mentioned that.
Yep.
He is adorable.
But then he's got this little hair hat thing that looks like he could end up having some kind of like military Navy style.
Yeah, it looks like a beret.
Hat. Yeah, like something's gonna happen with that. And if he doesn't evolve into Pompadouk, I'm gonna be really disappointed.
Yeah. What do you think of this little guy, Brandon?
Easily on paper looks like the most boring. I think we all we all assume that he's gonna be, because he's a duck, he's gonna be water flying. We know that's not the greatest type unless he's got some sort of insane ability like Drizzle
and or stats and or moves.
Yeah. But we were talking off camera, like, what if his hair is actually like a hat or whatever, and then like we were like, okay, well, you know, he's gonna be water flying, right? We were like, well, what if they like throw us through a loop and they throw some boxing gloves on him, and then he wears a bandana and he turns into like a fighting water type. You know what I mean? He goes all like, you know,
Rambo duck.
Yeah, he goes all like Rambo and stuff. Super unlikely, but it'd be pretty sweet.
Some torn jeans, some brass knuckles. Go wear Garuru.
Yeah. So I don't have much to say about him. What about you?
Yeah, so I like him. I think he's adorable. I like him actually better than I like Fuecoco in terms of aesthetics. Fuecoco just has so much like kind of WTF is going on here factor for me. Right. Like I need to see the full line to really kind of grasp it.
Yeah.
But I like Quaxley. I really get what's going on. He's water type. He's a duck. He's adorable. He's got his little military hat hair thing. It's just like, this is kind of back to Pokemon at its roots. Like, this is what I expect from a starter. He's cute. He looks like he's your friend. He looks like he's ready to go. Yes, sir. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what he evolves into, like we've already talked about, and echoing what both you guys have talked about, like in terms of his typing. Again, fingers crossed that it's anything but water flying. It's kind of like that fire fighting at this point. It's just, come on now.
Yeah.
But yeah, regardless of typing and stats, I'm sure there'll be a place for him, like most starters, in some meta on the ladder, whether it's NU. Doesn't matter to me. I like playing all tiers. So I'm not going to be starting with the water type, so it doesn't really affect me that much, but I do think he's really, really cute. I think he's a great design, and I'm excited to see what he evolves into.
Yeah. I think that about wraps it up. This was a nice, good, long discussion. Obviously, as more things emerge, like more details emerge, we're going to talk about these. We're going to do this, obviously, a few times this year. When we get big news, we'll talk about it. We'll probably bring Doug on again. So
definitely,
Doug, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, it was no problem. It's good fun.
Yeah. So
always good discussion.
I think that's it, man. I think that's it. Right?
Yeah. Let's wrap us up, man. So, again, if that big red button down there, make sure you hit the subscribe. Keep up to date with what we got going on here on the PMC. We do cover all manners of competitive Pokemon in all formats. And give this video a thumbs up. It really does help the channel. And if you are subscribed, go ahead and hit that bell. That way you get a notification every time we upload a new video to the channel.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to nail this intro. Okay. Me, and then Justin, and then Doug, and then me again. Ready? All right. Until next time, I've been Zero.
And I'm Justin.
And I'm Doug.
Class is dismissed. Nailed it.
Hey, we did it.